Hey Floyd, what was your reaction to the fight, man? What was your reaction to the fight, son?
Nah, I think Lamont won.
Who you thought won?
Lamont.
Man, he gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned.
Floyd Mayweather shared his thoughts on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, especially after the controversial ending. The boxing world went wild when the match was declared a draw. Shakur Stevenson didn't hold back, saying the result was wrong. He felt Roach clearly won. He also called out Davis for being too confident and not taking Roach seriously. According to Stevenson, Davis underestimated Roach and paid the price during the fight. Many fans agreed and shared the same disappointment.
I think Lamont won.
Who you thought won?
Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
You still want the Tank Davis fight?
So what?
You still want the Tank Davis fight? What went wrong? What went wrong? Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same?
I mean, we're gonna see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this, so.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in, they really...
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was gonna go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence been up. I've been knew I was the best.
Shakur tweeted about the Tank vs. Roach fight, saying, "My ticket hit tonight," calling out those who don't really understand boxing. He added that the fight played out just how he expected. Fans backed his view and started calling for a rematch. Meanwhile, boxer and media figure Jake Paul shared his disappointment with Davis's performance. He felt the fight lacked the energy and fire expected from a championship match. Paul said it looked more like a sparring session than a real battle. He also pointed out that this didn't feel like the Gervonta Davis he's used to seeing, suggesting Davis wasn't as aggressive as usual.
Man, he got lucky as a draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, he gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned.
Oh my God.
But, God damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Middleweight champion Demetrius Andrade shared his take on the fight, giving credit to Lamont Roach for his strong performance. Andrade felt the match shouldn't have ended in a draw, saying Roach had clearly done enough to win. Despite the controversy, he praised the fight itself, pointing out the high level of skill and competition shown by both fighters.
Roach had something that we all wasn't expecting. He might have had power. His distance was good. He came in ready, prepared to fight, and he showcased that. And man, we had a good fight overall. It was a good IQ fight.
You know, honestly, do you think Roach pulled it off?
I'm not going to say that. I don't think that the draw is good, you know. Other than that, it was a great fight. We'll love to see it again. It's me again, Caleb Plant, Chalo, Munguia, Edgar Berlanga. Where the fuck you motherfuckers at? Let's get this shit happen. You already know. So I'm playing. Let's get these shits popping, man. Time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick.
I mean, 100%. What do you think about Berlanga's obviously opponent that he chose? I mean,
lightweight contender Isaac Cruz spoke out against the draw decision, highlighting a key moment when Davis took a knee during the fight. Cruz argued that the judges and referee didn't give Roach the points he deserved for that incident, which might have changed the result. He suggested that this missed call played a role in the unfair outcome.
Pues ahora sí que dieron una gran pelea. Ahora sí que me sorprendió la pelea que dio Lamont Roach y bueno, fue una gran pelea para todos los aficionados.
¿Tú crees que fue un empate?
No, yo creo que no. Creo que le quedaron a deber la caída a Lamont Roach, pero bueno, decisión de los jueces y del referee que no le hizo válida la caída, no le hizo el conteo.
¿Qué le fue mal en esta pelea para Gervonta? ¿Qué fue lo que no hizo para que los jueces le den esta pelea? ¿Tú qué piensas?
Bueno, él nada más apostó a un solo round, a un solo golpe para poderlo noquear, y el cual Loma venía muy bien preparado, muy bien concentrado en el plan de trabajo. Bueno, creo que a Tank le faltó presionar, tirar más golpes para ser más contundente y que se viera más efectivo a la hora de la victoria.
¿Te gustaría ver una revancha entre ellos?
Pues estaría muy agradable. Ahora sí que la primera estuvo muy buena, yo creo que la segunda también.
Former world champion Danny Garcia shared his thoughts on the fight, calling it a great matchup that highlighted both boxers' talents. Speaking on Gervonta Davis's performance, Garcia said that not every night shows a fighter at their best, suggesting Davis might have just had an off night. He pointed out how unpredictable boxing can be and how tough it is for fighters to stay at their peak every time they step into the ring.
There's no doubt
Danny, what's going on, my man? What do you think of the fight?
Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me, right?
Danny, what do you think of the fight, man? Are you surprised by the outcome? It was a close fight.
I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him?
Out.
Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the draw.
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
They don't, whatever they want to do. You think it was a draw? I don't know. It was a good fight.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley weighed in on the fight's outcome, saying that draws usually leave both fans and fighters unsatisfied. He pointed out that many expected Gervonta Davis to win by knockout, especially since Lamont Roach had moved up in weight for the match. Lampley noted that Davis's failure to finish the fight could be viewed as a step back in his career and might impact his position in the lightweight division.
Bag for fans, for people in the sport, etc., etc. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, you know, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger and had a greater ability to resist Tank's power than other opponents have had, because Tank did tag him with a lot of clean shots, and he wound up throwing more punches than he likes to throw to get that done. He tagged him both on the chin and to the belly, etc., and couldn't seem to hurt Roach. And that was another surprise in the overall picture of the fight.
Undefeated welterweight champion Terence Crawford voiced his shock on social media over the referee's decision not to count Davis's knee as a knockdown. In his tweet, Crawford questioned how such a moment was missed, suggesting the officials ignored basic boxing rules during the fight. He wrote, "I've never seen someone take a knee and it's not counted as a knockdown. Must have forgotten the rules tonight."
Left. Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with right.
He took a knee.
He took a knee. What is he doing?
He forgot his...
Former three-division world champion Abner Mares called for a rematch between Davis and Roach, saying Roach delivered the kind of performance he was truly capable of, something many, including Davis, might have overlooked. Mares suggested this underestimation played a role in how the fight turned out and that a rematch would give both fighters a chance to come in with better strategies.
I thought Roach closed the last 2 rounds. And then if you think about it, that knockdown was a knockdown. He took a knee, they should have counted, and you know, those 2 points, like Roach said, you know, it would have been on his favor and he would have won the fight. But you know, I hope they run it back again, which I'm sure they will. And you know, we get more of a clear, you know, victory for either side.
How much of tonight was Lamont Roach being Lamont Roach, and how much of it was Gervonta Davis maybe not being at his best?
It was more. Reason? It was more. Yeah, well said. I think it was more of Lamont being Lamont. A lot of people were not expecting that. He was catching the punches really well, took them well. Great combinations, and just stood in the pocket and fought him right in the center of the ring. Even Tank was not expecting that, and I think that threw him off. And you know, great great performance by Lamont Roach, and Tank Davis. He's got to fight more. I mean, this is not as consistent with the fighting, and you know, again, the timing probably wasn't there for him this fight.
What does this say about Tank, man? Some people had him as high as, top 5, top 10 pound.
You know what that's going to say about Tank now. Obviously, people are going to talk shit, and people are going to, put him, probably take him down on the pound for pound list. And, it is what it is. But so that's why Tank has to come back and really get that rematch and really make a statement, if it's with him or whoever else.
And lastly, Adam, people wanted to know who's the best lightweight. Is it Keyshawn, Shakur, Tank? Do you think he can still beat those guys, or did Lamont show some things tonight that those guys are just...
Lamont's definitely there. Lamont can fight any of these guys.
Yeah.
A Washington, D.C.-based boxer shared concerns about the fallout from the fight's controversial result, warning that Gervonta Davis's young and passionate fan base might respond poorly. He pointed out the tense atmosphere surrounding the event and stressed the importance of handling fan reactions carefully in high-stakes moments like this to avoid any unrest.
My reaction for this Tank versus Roach fight, I'm really disappointed, to be honest. Like, it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth, and the reason why is they leaving a negative energy out there. And a lot of y'all might not understand because y'all don't come from underserved environments or was never incarcerated or things like that. I'm from DC, and I know how we get active. I know people from Baltimore, and I know how they get active. When we talk about rivalries are cool. When I'm talking Commanders, Cowboys, stuff like that, that's friendly and cool. We talk our trash, but when we talking about when it's negative and we know that Tank have a young following and things like that, and I'm seeing certain people at these press conferences, violent individuals, and things can really turn out bad. So yeah, I understand they selling the fight and things like that, but certain things, it can get real bad. And I don't want to see nobody lose their life. Let this be a healthy rivalry. Y'all go in there, best man win, and fight over. It should be all love. We got to be careful with the messaging that we putting out. It's Mr. We Fit.
In his post-fight comments, Gervonta Davis said the match was good for the sport and gave credit to Lamont Roach as a tough opponent. He admitted that fans expect knockouts from him because of his past performances and understood that a draw isn't the result people want from a fighter with his reputation. His remarks showed that he's aware of the pressure on him and that he respects Roach's abilities.
Good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, it's KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was.
Calvin Ford, Gervonta Davis's trainer, stood by his earlier views on Lamont Roach, stressing that he had always seen Roach as a skilled and talented fighter. Ford's remarks indicate that Team Davis knew Roach would be a tough challenge and recognized how competitive the fight would be.
Good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, it's KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the. I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man.
Roach's performance received widespread praise, with many saying he was the first fighter to genuinely test Davis. Fans are now calling for a rematch, believing Roach has earned another shot to show what he's capable of.
Lamont Roach definitely earned my respect tonight. Definitely one of the first fighters to put Tank to the test. Just matching fire with fire. That was a good fight. For me, I need to see a rematch ASAP. But yeah, Tank definitely took the knee 100%. I see Roach winning that 7-5 personally. But boxing is business, so they were never going to let him have that win. Roach's timing was on point though. No easy knockouts tonight. The sharp counters, like, very good fighter, very good fighter. Let me know what you guys think, if that robbery was fair or not. Leave it in the comments.
Many fans and analysts still argue that Roach was robbed, pointing to the moment when Davis took a knee but wasn't given a knockdown. This controversy has only added to the growing calls for a rematch.
Lamont Roach just got cheated. And Lamont Roach's fight versus Tank Davis just ended in a draw. And based on what I just seen, he was winning the fight. But you know what makes it worse? What makes it worse is Tank Davis took a knee. When you take a knee in boxing, that's supposed to be an automatic knockdown. They literally let Tank Davis take a knee. The referee wanted to count. He chose not to count. He went to the corner, wiped off his hair, wiped off his eye, and then kept fighting. And to me, that makes no sense. How are you able to do that and not be a knockdown? Yo, boxing is crazy, bro. This stuff is wild. And you know what makes it even wilder? His excuse said, I just got my hair done and my hair was in my eye. Bro, cut your hair. This is boxing, man. Y'all dudes be trying to look too pretty. But with all that being said, it was a great fight. I just hate the ending. Give that man Lamont Roach the knockdown so he could go ahead and win.
For the first time in his career, Davis didn't get a knockout, leaving some of his fans disappointed, with a few even booing him after the fight. This reaction highlighted just how high the expectations are for him.
Oh my god, Gervonta just lost his perfect record. His fight with Lamont Roach was scored as a majority draw. Roach threw more punches and landed more punches on Gervonta. Just look at the numbers. And was this a knockdown? Roach after the fight wasn't satisfied and he said if that was scored as a knockdown, he would have won the fight tonight. Gervonta after the fight said that some grease from his hair just got in his eyes and he couldn't see well. Crowd started booing Tank, his own crowd. We all know boxing fans. They love you one day, they hate you one day. That's exactly what Tank said. But what do you think really happened? Was that because Lamont is really that guy? Or is it because Tank really needs to take time to himself, retire, go back to school as he mentioned? I don't know. But you go ahead and comment. Let's talk about it.
Davis's coach stood by his fighter but also gave Roach credit for his strong performance. He stressed that the fight had no clear winner and that Roach earned respect for how he handled the match.
Well, both of us back today was that again. Nobody won. Nobody won. He could sit there and say, I didn't get knocked out. That's the only thing that's good to say. I didn't get knocked out. Maybe that was his championship because he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He fought a brilliant fight. Salute goes off to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tank was talking about retirement stuff. That might change that. We don't know. We have to wait and see.
MMA journalist Ariel Helwani speculated that this could be one of Davis's final fights, noting that Davis has hinted at retirement before. He suggested that the disappointing outcome might lead Davis to leave boxing earlier than many anticipated.
The great Gervonta Tank Davis. He's returning to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach, who is moving up from super featherweight. Tank Davis is these days kind of averaging one fight a year, which is a shame. He wants to have 3 more fights and then retire by the end of 2025. Does he get 3 fights this year? Does he actually retire by the end of the year? Who knows? But this may be one of the last times we see him, at least for now. So catch him while you can. One of the most exciting, one of the most hard-hitting fighters in the sport, and we suspect once again that he wins, and I suspect that he wins via stoppage once again. He is one of the hardest hitting guys in the history of the sport, and we suspect that if he gets by Roach, there could be some big fights on the horizon this year. We don't know, but he's got to get by Lamont Roach first. That test goes down this Saturday in Brooklyn.
Even some of Davis's own supporters admitted that Roach fought well and managed Davis's power impressively. This change in opinion has been one of the fight's biggest surprises. Julian Love stated that Lamont Roach outboxed Gervonta Davis and felt Roach had done enough to earn the win and should have had his hand raised at the end.
Hey man, what'd you think? The crowd didn't seem to like the draw. Did you think that was the right call?
Nah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I love Gervonta. Obviously, we come from a lot of the same shit. But I love boxing, and I seen Lamont Roach outclass Gervonta Davis tonight.
Yeah.
And I ain't against Jim Tank. I'm just a boxer. If you ask me, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
I thought Lamont did enough to receive the victory.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't go his way. It was a good fight. His boxing fans won. And shit.
About the knockdown and no
I think if anytime you take a knee or touch the canvas, and it's through to a bunt punch, or even if you hurt and you go down, that's a knockdown. That's what I know from the rules of boxing since it started. You touch the canvas, it was not counted. He put a halt to the fight to go get his face wiped. These are all penalties, point, all different shit. So, you know, from the game that I know if I was in that bitch, that would have been a knockdown. But it is what it is. Can't let the cash cow go. He's filling out these arenas. You're supposed to do that.
Yeah, man, G. So, I mean, he was better against Frank Martin. It looked like he was flat tonight.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
And Lamont Roach is a stellar fucking fighter. If you know Lamont Roach, know his father, know his brother, know they come from a great pedigree of boxing, and you've seen that tonight.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.